Hey there. Thank you for reaching out with this awesome page. I'm going to give you some feedback. It's going to be off the cuff, super improvised. As I'm looking at the page, I'm going to give you my thoughts. So I might be ruthless, but don't take it personal. So let's look at it. And also, I don't have obviously context on the research that you've run. I was just looking actually the original website, which I think it's this one. And I have to say, so far as the layout goes, yours is way, way better. So that's already an improvement as far as the UX goes, the prioritization of the calls to action, the placement. This is really good. So good job. Let's look at this big idea. Your business deserves a professional spotlight. 78 Design streamlines your services and dominates your online presence with high-touch web design services tailored for online service providers. So this is pretty clear when I read this. Also, streamlines. Yeah. As far as the big idea goes, whenever I write the big idea for the client, I try to make it as simple as possible. This is very similar to the actual copy that you've written here. So I would recommend always try to make the big idea simple and clear, also to differentiate it from the copy. Just because a lot of the times when you send out the big idea to clients, you don't want it to pass as copy because you will likely have to write the copy still. So I typically send out the big idea, even when the copy is not written yet. Make it simple so they understand. And once they understand it, then I go write the copy. Let's see, reach the biggest online audience. So this is basically seems to be website design for online service providers, right? So I don't know if she makes themes or if she sets it up or what. But what I get from the value proposition is reach the biggest online audience. 78 Design helps you step into the professional spotlight and streamlines your business with high-touch website design solutions for online service providers. So a couple of things here that I would probably improve. Reach the biggest online audience doesn't really tell me much, right? Because is this something that these service providers want? Do they really want to reach the biggest audience, or do they just want to sell services, right? Do they need an audience or do they want to sell services? What's their main goal? What's their main motivation? So we'll try to mirror that in the headline here. And also, biggest, what does it mean? Big can be relative, right? So I would try to be as specific as possible. The other thing I would probably try to mention service providers or even a more specific term, if you have it, a bit earlier in the copy, just because right now, in order for me to understand that this is for me, if I'm a service provider, I need to read the whole thing, and not a lot of people would do it. They might skim, read the first few letters here, read these first letters, maybe second line, and they might skip online service providers entirely, right? So you want to match their expectations when they get here right away, as soon as possible. Calls to action, book a call, send inquiry. I would probably here at this point, what I typically do is try to use calls to value rather than calls to action. So mirror the benefit that they will get rather than the actual action that they're going to accomplish. And also, not a lot of people will typically click here. So here I would simplify it, maybe have one single call to action. It can be get your website up today or get in touch. It's even better even if it's not super benefit oriented. But also make it a bit more casual, right? Let's see. Testimonials. This section is good. Maybe I would try to have testimonials fit in the above the fold if possible, just because you want to back up. Always try to use social proof in context, right? So if a lot of people see this above the fold section, you might want to have testimonials that people can see even without scrolling. So they read this and you back it up with social proof right away, and then they can scroll for more. And small to medium-sized businesses choose 78 designs to empower their online presence. Also, I'm not a fan of these terms. Empower seems a bit like enterprisey. So I would always try to be as specific as possible. What does empowering their online presence means to them? It doesn't mean getting a quick website up. Doesn't mean being able to reach more people because the website works better or what. And also, I don't know what kind of testimonials she has, maybe none. But if you have a testimonial repository, I would advise for using specific testimonials rather than these generic ones. Totally agree. Nice work. What does this tell me? Nice work for what? Next section, problem statement. looks like you've used kind of a PAS homepage. I would typically be a bit more descriptive in the sense that my approach would be first, I would match what they want. So here's what I'm thinking about in the first section. Then I'm telling you what I'm doing so we don't waste their time. And then I'm telling them how I'm doing it, right? So this approach might work a bit better if you know that this audience is problem aware. So if they need a bit more education in terms of how the website can help them, this can work pretty well. So in that case, you've done a pretty good job here, starting with the problem and then expanding into the solution. But otherwise, if you know that all these guys, all these people are just looking for a web designer, website creator, and they already know all this stuff, I might go with the what, how framework. So what I'm doing and how I'm doing in a unique, better way. That's typically how I approach homepages, just because we typically on a homepage, we speak to a lot of different personas. In this case, it might just be one. So that's up to you with the research that you have to understand. You're missing out on higher ROI. Customers tend to research brands before making a purchase. In fact, 93% of online traffic comes from Google with the new website born every 3 seconds. This only means that your market is online, have reasons needs. So if you are, I like these are very specific. So if you are wasting your time hacking a lousy DIY website, I would, rather than having one single paragraph, I would probably, in order to make it easier to read and even more punchy, I would probably extract these 3 and make 3 left-right sections. So you could have this one, could be this, could be here, then another one here. And for each one, you could have a short paragraph telling them how you solve the problem. Also, because I don't think you need to take all this space to go from problem to solution, especially because there's not a lot of text. So you're using all of horizontal space, but there's probably no need. With 3 sections, left, one here, and one here, and images, you would make it easier to digest, more engaging because you will have images, and also take up less space. So that's probably how I would approach it. More visibility, more sales, website your clients love. Give your visitors the best web experience via Show It and WordPress website builders. Perfect for small business and scaling enterprise. So obviously I know what WordPress is. I'm not familiar with Show It. Again, the same thing goes back to awareness. How much do these prospects know about these builders? Should we mention them here? Or is this something that they don't need to know at this point? A lot of times when we go into the technicalities, we realize that people might not have needed them before getting in touch. So is this something that we can explain to them later or in a how it works dedicated page? Because otherwise it's just introducing friction, right? I get to this point. What is Show It website builder? Do I need to install another platform? Do I need to switch? All the questions come up at this point. Get visible in just 1 week. You're losing potential clients every minute. You're not on the radar. Go live in 7 days and start bringing in more leads. Website your client will love. Maybe a website your clients will love. Yeah, just clarifying. Smart investments for time money. Designing website is not your job. Ditch DIY. Save big on pounds and spend time on what matters. I like it. Break down barriers and stay unlimited. What does stay unlimited means? Step up from the borders of social media referral. Make it easy for customers to find you in a digital space trusted by billions of users. Yeah, it's not clear what stay unlimited means here. Offer segments. So this is another thing that I was looking at before that I'm not entirely clear. So you have the solution here. Okay, she builds a website. Get visible in just 1 week. Getting visible is not entirely clear. I know that it means that the website will be live in 1 week, just because before I read the final part, which is here. No, here, launch your website present in 1 week. All right, so I know that because I read this, but it's not entirely clear what this step refers to. So first, visually, I would have the calls to action under these sections so that you make it clear that these sections refer to this headline and this subhead. Visually, the visual hierarchy. And also be a bit more specific. Is this how it works? What is this process for? I would probably clarify these headlines, make them a bit more feature oriented, right? A lot of times people use benefit and subheads or crossheads, but they sacrifice clarity. So you have to kind of balance that out. Sometimes more feature oriented headlines or crossheads work best, especially for step by step sections like these, or yeah, these sections here. And then you have offer segments. The other thing that I would do here to clarify what these are, what each of these are, would be to have some eyebrow copy here, all caps, maybe smaller, that you can use. So I'm gonna show you. This is a client that I wrote the website for, copy for. Not entirely sure if they have it. Let's see. Let me see if I find something. So this is what I meant. So if you want to get some inspiration, especially for nice, engaging visual sections, I always recommend the ClickUp website, which is great. And the thing that I was mentioning was this like eyebrow copy like this, right? You can get the benefit here, but you also get the feature here. So you understand what this whole section is about. And you could do the same here. So for this section, spotlight your business instantly. Set up your website with budget-friendly and fully customizable show-it templates that align with your visions. No code. Launch as soon as you like. So you could have an eyebrow copy here saying no code template included or something like that. Again, it's not clear how the templates fit into her work of building the website. If she builds the website, I expect that I wouldn't have anything to do with the templates. If you mean that after the website is built, then I will have less work because I'm using easy to use visual templates, then that should be clearer here. And the same thing here. So do more without the burnout. Need help with website maintenance, social media management, website design coaching, you name it. So you could have maintenance and coaching here. So it instantly tells me what this paragraph is about for people who skim. Get a professional website in 40 steps. Also here, the other thing wasn't clear, right? Because you talk about website here, then you go into these services, and then you go back to talking about the website. So if this is related to the website, I would probably show it under this section, right? So you tell me, okay, I'm building your website. This is how it works. And then I also do these two things, right? Visually, I think it's probably better. With the secondary call to action, send inquiry, I probably try to make it a bit less formal. Do people want to send an inquiry? Sounds a bit old fashioned, sounds a bit like, yeah, too formal. So I don't know. What is going to happen when I click this button? Send, I don't know, request. Even request sounds crappy. But yeah, you get the point, right? Try to make it a bit more descriptive of what happens next. And also, I would try to use click trigger copy whenever possible, which is basically a small copy here that tells them what happens next. Maybe not where you have two calls to action, but when you have one. For example, book a call. You'll be able to book a call automatically or something like that. Send inquiry, or you'll get a couple of questions and we'll get back to you in 1 hour, something like that. Clarify the expectations. Experience a client first website design service. Go from this to this. Getting low website traffic. Visually, obviously, I know she has a designer, but I would probably try to differentiate these from these. So having, I don't know, a red cross and a green check mark here, just a visual tip. But also experience a client first website design service. Again, it's not clear what client first means to them. Yeah, I would try to be a bit more specific. And also go from this to this, this to this. Yeah, here it's one of those cases where I'll probably get rid of these two, and I would just use the copy to basically take them through the journey. You could have, again, different columns or left-right sections to tell them, maybe like a paragraph where you have this, and under that, this one with a cross head that sums up the transformation rather than having the table here. With calls to action, I would try to limit them a bit more. You always have two. Not all of them are needed, I think. So you already have one here. I would probably remove this one. Does she have an about page? she has an about page. So under their header, I will probably link with a secondary call to action to the about page. So removing these two. Also, I noticed some weird bits of copy here. I stumbled upon where the design love story and kids the fact goodbye. Now say, yeah, I'm all about turning your business into a meaningful connection with your audience. Again, here, online service providers. Do they need a connection with an audience? Do they need to sell services? That's not entirely clear. Your vision matters to me. This is why I work closely with you. What does it mean, work closely? You can be more specific here, right? What does it mean? I understand. I take time to understand your business. I do super deep dive research, blah, blah, blah. With an open communication, we'll piece together with an open communication. I wouldn't probably use that. What's an open communication here? What do you mean? We'll piece together your dream website based on your splendid ideas. Splendid is not typically used. And my experience plus a whole lot of creativity. Again, it's one of those cases where you need to understand what they want in order to give it to them. A lot of business owners, service providers, if you talk about creativity, that might not be something that they want. They might prefer that you make them money, right? So I don't know. That's something that I would try to figure out with research. Shine online beyond your normal market. Build trust with your target audience and expand your reach with a well-built website designed to excite your customers. Yeah, a lot of things that I would change here, but again, I'm not entirely sure because I don't know the research. As a first glance, shine online seems a bit hairy-fairy, not super vivid, descriptive. And maybe that's the audience that she talks to, I don't know. But also with a well-built website, there's a lot of well-built websites that don't sell at all or that don't do their job. So again, try to be a bit more specific. Hopefully I haven't trashed this page too much, but this is my first impression. Overall, you've done a pretty good job compared to the current website, especially with the layout, with how you created a story here and differentiated their offering. This is a bit confusing, sold plus projects. One thing that probably you could add is a bit more social proof because you have testimonials at the top. So you might have these case studies that she has, past projects. That's probably something that you could showcase maybe below the about section here. So just a thought. All right. Hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully I haven't rambled on too much and hope this is useful. Cheers.